Hey guys, welcome to Lunatic Astrology, and I'm your astrologer Lori Lothian, and I want to talk about the full moon in Leo that's happening for us on February 8th or the 9th, depending on where you live, at 20 degrees of Leo, and the sun, of course, is opposite at 20 degrees of Aquarius. I'm finding this is a very interesting moon. I'm going to share a little bit with I have a big computer here. I'm going to pull up the chart of the moon to talk about a couple of things. There's a bit of a grand trine and a mystic rectangle, but this is an all signs reading. If you want to know a little bit about how the power of Zeus and Juno sextile this moon is going to operate in your life to bring you channeled, directed, creative energy, leadership, ambition, and goals realized, likely in partnership with another, you can go ahead and just check the timestamp to your all signs. Now, if you want to check in now instead about what's going to happen with the collective field, stick around and we'll get to that now. Now, maybe I won't share the whole chart on my screen, but yeah, maybe I'll just show it to you and then we'll go back to me for a second. So hang on. So basically, here we go. This is your lunar picture for the 8th of the month. And, or the 9th, depending on where you live. For instance, it's at 2:33 a.m. on February the 9th in the eastern part of the country, in Eastern Standard Time in the USA and Canada. So what I like about this is that, we have a lot of tension going on. We all know there's a pandemic. And we're all pretty nervous about that. And that, I think, was triggered by Aries, which is now navigating through the air sign here. You can't see her, but she's there. Of a potential pandemic anyway. It is a pandemic, but anyway, so we're all feeling anxious, we're all feeling nervous, we're all feeling a little stressed out. Stock markets are tumbling and all of that. Well, there's a bit of good news in this moon. I think we can all take a little sigh of relief in our personal life and hopefully also for the collective. You can see that this moon engenders or begins to operate with the power of a beautiful grand trine. This is a trine that is formed because the goddess Aries, the Eris, E-I-R-S, which is like the female warrior aspect, okay? It's the sister energy for Mars. I like to think of her as Xena warrior princess. She's really spiky and sparky, and I think of her as a complement to the god of war. I think of her as a fierce, good force for deliberate, incisive action. She's been called the goddess of disruption and discord as well, but she only disrupts things, it trips things up in order to create a clear, directional, healthy momentum. So here she is as a part of this triangle, and of course this makes this a fire triangle. And oh yeah, we do, there's Leo, and there's our moon in Leo, a fire trine. That's the full moon itself in Leo, and then we move our little cursor up to Mars in Sagittarius, in fire as well. And so the energy of this fire trine to me sort of speaks that this moon is going to potentially, for some of us and hopefully for the collective, bring in some harmonious Jupiterian, the nature of a trine. This is a grand trine, goodness and flow, opportunity and growth, and a sense perhaps of relief as well. Just a sense of, I'm feeling much more relieved about something in my life. And of course, for every person, this is going to fall in a different part of the chart. And I'm not going to delineate that in detail, but I will talk about for the all signs, but I will talk about something else. And we'll talk about a little bit later about this sextile between the moon and Zeus, a trans-Neptunian planet. Think of Zeus as, creativity, directed energy, lightning bolts of thunderbolts of energy, leadership, getting one's goals achieved, kind of like the god of Mount Olympus. And he's partnered here with Juno, who's basically his wife. And so they're exactly at 21 degrees, and the moon is exactly at 20. So this is a nice tight sextile here, which is the nature of Venus and is a very benefic or positive angle of attachment these guys have. So in all signs, I'll talk about what this might mean for you in the month ahead. But what I would like to say now is that is not just all that's happening. We have a mystic rectangle forming here. Now, it's not a super strong one. You can see how light this line is because the 23-degree Aries, with the 20 degrees of the sun, with the 21 degree of this paired duo, the husband and wife team, with the moon, is forming a rectangle called a mystic rectangle, and it balances the tension of opposites in the chart. What are the opposites? It's the female goddess of war kind of thing, the chaos and disruption goddess, opposing this dynamic duo here, and Juno, goddess of partnerships, long-term committed, and Zeus, the god of Mount Olympus, who are, you know, partners in real myth. There's a tension here. And then there's a tension between the moon and the sun because it's a full moon. That's what a full moon is. So these tensions then are being brought into a harmonious rectangle called a mystic rectangle. We have so many harmonious grand formations during this full moon between the fire trine and the mystic rectangle. I feel like there's going to be some breathing room in the next month ahead around less fear and anxiety, more sense of relief, and we have a lot of like opportune and luck energies going. So I'm hoping that that plays out with something, for instance, with the pandemic, where it is the tide of the oncoming coronavirus pandemic seems to be stemming or being contained, or a antiviral medication is developed. I heard that might be underway. And if you haven't seen my last video, I talked about the 4-month timeline for this virus, and it looks better than not better, with a turning point around March the 27th. And certainly looking like after April the 24th, we're kind of in the clear. I hope that I'm right about that. And that has to do with the asteroids, Panacea, and Ceres, and Apollo. And I made a narrative of what they're all doing in the sky to hopefully overcome this intense time of viral anxiety and and bring relief. So in general, I'm going to say that the theme of this full moon is one of hope and optimism. It can bring to your life greater energy, creativity, focused, directed, powerful leadership, and a sense of wanting to partner with somebody in your life right now, whether it's romantic or a business partnership, to form alliances and commitments and partnerships with people. Let's go to the all signs. Alrighty, I'm going to go back to me and away from the screen right now. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to go through all the signs with Aries. I'm going to not spend more than 2 to 3 minutes on each sign, but it's timestamped below where you can just jump ahead if you like and find your spot in the storyline. Aries, sun, moon, and ascendant. If you're born at night when you know it's dark in the sky, for real, literally the sun is below the ascendant descendant axis, right? Then you're likely want to listen to your moon sign a bit more than your sun sign, okay? But sun, moon, and ascendant for each of these is relevant to who you are. So Aries, you are looking at sun, moon, and ascendant, the lunar position, the moon, during this full moon being in your 5th house of children, pregnancy, creativity, creative expression, the house of luck, yay. And the moon here could be actually a good fertility symbol. So if you're an Aries who's been trying to get pregnant or is pregnant and wants to have a smooth pregnancy, and if there's been any issues, this could be a really good time for some hormonal blessings and some good blessings around those themes. Now, this is also the house Aries of romance. And you know what? That sextile to Juno and to Zeus, the married couple themselves, is in the 7th house of marriage and business partnerships, and the house of clients if you work with one-on-one with people. So I'm wondering for you, Aries, if there isn't really a real spark of some new romance that has the potential to go the long distance with that 7th house Juno conjunct Zeus. Now, your own dreams, goals, your own ambitions, and your own creative energy are going to be highlighted as well in the 7th house. If you are working one-on-one with people in your business or in your life, say you're a coach or a healer, this could be a time for you, Aries, the sun and moons, to partner up, to team up with somebody that you know, who may even just be a client, or to create a new business partnership with someone as well. Alrighty, so I hope that helps you guys the month ahead. Let's go. Taurus, you guys are having the moon, sun, moon, and ascendant. Taurus, you're having the moon in your natal 4th house, house of home. This full moon is activating your home life. It's activating the cradle of your life, your sanctuary. So this is where you live, your apartment, your house. This is my Montreal apartment here. It activates your ancestral line, your family of origin, the nest of you. So one of the things about the moon in the 4th house is that pay attention to females from your family, your mom, your grandmom, you know, people that are intimate to you, who are older women particularly, being very important in the 30 days ahead, Taurus. Now, the sextile to the Juno-Zeus conjunction is in your 6th house of your ways to create health in your life, you know, routines, smoothies, shakes, better health protocols, diet, exercise, all of that. So regular routines around your health could be improved with this sextile, discovering new things for better health, for sure. And also the 6th house is your job or your livelihood, or what you want to do to serve the world, hopefully in service, not servitude, you know? So it is, I call it the house of Dharma, truly your true calling, your true expression as it would express in the daily way you do something. So yeah, so it's like you could have some changes, Taurus, in the job world as well, in your workplace, you know, with your if you're an employer, with your employees, if you're employed, with your employer and your colleagues at work. But it was be a positive development. It's a sextile. New partnerships and new alliances, perhaps in the workplace. Oh, and by the way, for the health thing, maybe it's time to get a, what do you call those people who help you work out? Like a health coach, but there's another name I'm looking for. You know, that helps you do the workouts. Oh, my menopause brain. Personal trainer. Could be a good time for you, Taurus, is to get a personal trainer with the Juno, Zeus conjunction in your 6th house. Okay, moving on. Gemini, you're going to have a 3rd house full moon on this this opening door of the 8th and 9th of February. That's going to be a possibility for you, Geminis, of taking a short trip or a travel. One of the meanings of the 3rd house, you could go somewhere. You might want to educate yourself, a seminar or a workshop, and learn something new. And that would be also very auspicious with this moon. And also you may be dealing with some of your siblings this month. And hopefully that's a sibling that you like, but there's definitely 3rd house sibling energy, and cousins and aunts too, that could be activated. Now with that full moon sextiling the 5th house of creative expression and the 5th house of romance, you Gemini sun, moon, and ascendants could be also looking at a romance initiated on a trip, short-term trip and travel, not big, long, you know, getaways or pilgrimages. You could be looking at romantic or in love energies coming through something you're doing in the learning, speaking, teaching, and writing zone of the chart, taking a workshop or a course or teaching one. So romance is in the air for you, Geminis. So if you're single, you can look to that possibility. That sextile is the nature of Venus. Sizzle, 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 partnership, and, you know, yay. You could meet the love of your life, honestly, in the month ahead. I don't want to be overly optimistic, but come on, Juno and Zeus were married and they were together forever. Being creative, the 5th house is creative expression. You Geminis who are creative, artsy, and artistic, this is a boon of a month for you. Go full force with that energy. Go for it. That is where that powerhouse of Zeus is, with his lightning strikes and his ability to accomplish and achieve goals. Woo! That 5th house energy is really amplified this month. So get your creative and speculative projects off and play the lottery. It is the house of luck. Why not? You may win a lottery. You may win with somebody else. You know what I mean? Like there's 2 winners and you get to share the bounty. I kind of like that story too. Alrighty. Let's move ahead out of the Gemini zone. So let me go back to that for a minute for you guys, the Geminis. I just had a thought, you know, it is a good time to take speculative risks when anything happens in the 5th house. And this is a sextile from the moon. So if there's anybody that you might want to partner with in any possible way, I'm not too sure what that partnership would entail, but it could be very fortunate for you. So I would say as a general sort of, you know, delineation here, any partnerships that you engage in are going to bring you really good luck by virtue of this moon. So take that in good stead. Don't be afraid to go for it and take a risk on a new partnership, a new endeavor of some sort. It could be really, really lucrative or successful. All right, let's go ahead to Cancer. So you guys are, you know, you Cancer people have been having a really tough time with those eclipses going through the Cancer Capricorn axis since 2018. So I salute you. I salute your spirit of resilience and how you just keep on, you know, keeping on through it all. I mean, you guys amaze me. So that said, Cancer sun, moon, and ascendant, here's what's going on. The moon is sitting in your 2nd house of earned income. Now, that means that earnings could be looking for increase or a boon this month ahead. The moon in that part of the chart, which is also representative of your resources, your possessions, your self-worth, could also bring greater boon and bounty to those areas as well. And they would come through the 4th house. And why do I say that? That's because Juno and Zeus are sitting in your 4th house together. So could you be getting ready to sell a house? Could you be getting ready to do some real estate transactions? That's what the 4th house can mean there. Is there a power couple of some kind or a power alliance with 2 other people involved in real estate that could really, really get things going for you? Now, the 4th house is your family of origin as well. So what good news could come from your ancestral or family of origin roots, it could also boost your self-esteem or your possessions, or maybe even possibly maybe your earnings. You know, no, I mean, anything is possible. I like that idea for you. What else do I feel about that fourth house? It could be because of the sextile from the second house, that money you've made, you want to do something on your home, like renovate it, because the sextile is Venusian and the second house is the earnings. So any money that comes through your earnings channel in this month ahead could support you to beautify or enhance or, you know, make beautiful changes, Venusian changes to your home. It would be a good time to do that, renovate or invest in money to do a renovation. That would definitely work for that time frame for you. Alrighty. Okay. Is that everything for you guys? I think so. Leo, let's move to Leo. I didn't forget Leo this month. You know, there's a joke going on with me that I always forget to talk about Leo. So Leo, you guys are having the experience of the transit of the full moon, I should say, in your natal first house of your avatar, your identity, your body, your personality, the whole form of you. So that is going to have the spotlight on it. Of course, Leo is solar derived, and you know, you guys are big, shiny, bright lights. So that's kind of cool that this full moon is occurring in the very heart of you, in that big, bold, courageous Leo zone of your first house. And I would say to you guys that with the sextile then going to the third house where Juno is hanging out with Zeus, that you may find that by traveling the third house on a short trip during the month ahead after this moon on the 8th or 9th, that you could really strongly have a boost in your own self-identity and how other people see you. You'll shine brighter as a result, perhaps, of some sort of journey that you take, or any kind of learning that you do, like a course, a workshop, a seminar, because the third house can rule those short-term learnings. It's also a house of writing, teaching, educating. Any of those themes can bring goodness for you this month by virtue of that sextile. Now think about Juno and Jupiter in your third house. Is this a call for you to be powerfully creative and energetic in partnering with somebody to teach something or do something third house like, teach a workshop, or take a trip with a friend, or take a trip with somebody, take a trip with a partner? That would be a very joyous and Venusian and sexy and fun and pleasurable thing to do. Okay. Let's move on. After we talked about Leo, we must talk about Virgo, because that's the order of the sign. So Virgos, what I get for this moon in your 12th house, it's a very deep inward type of energy. I want you to consider the full moon that's going on in the house of dreams, the house, like at night when you sleep, the house of the unconscious, a house of things that are not quite obvious to you, the house of past lives, the house of spiritual liberation. This 12th house setting could ask you, by virtue of the sextile from the 12th house to your second house, to dream into your reality new ways to create earnings and income, new ways to increase your resources and your possessions, and new ways to also feel better about yourself, self-esteem. Virgo, think about your dream-like way that you can envision and maybe even harness something from a past life, you know, like maybe there's something in a past life where you can sort of pull a thread out from there in a dream or a reverie or meditation of something about your true nature, something that restores more value and self-worth to yourself. Because that second house duo of lightning bolt Zeus in the house of earnings and his partner Juno, we're really indicating that you could do something with your earnings, also to bring your earnings up by partnering with somebody, by creating a new alliance or partnership. Or if you're married or with a partner, then how do you and your partner work together for more earnings in your life at this time? That's one possible way that may constellate for you. Okay, moving on. So Libra, sorry, I was just doing something on my chart. So Libra, you guys are going through this journey of the next month, courtesy of a full moon in your 11th house of friends and allies and benefactors, great gains, wealth from your career, reputation, status, alliances, tribes, hopes and wishes. So many meanings up there. It's a good place. It's the 11th house of good spirit. So with that energy of the moon up there, reflecting the full light of the sun, you're really peeking out here in some really beautiful bright light of you in some fundamental way reflected in the social spheres in which you travel. Internet social spheres count as well. And so, you know, but groups and organizations and clubs are up here in the 11th house. So you might just, or in awards and rewards, you know, you might get an award, a promotion, or a reward courtesy of the house of great gains. It's a house of pennies from heaven. Maybe you're going to luck out as well and get some pennies from heaven during that time of that moon's, you know, month-long influence in your 11th house. Anything you want to do where you're putting yourself more in the sphere of groups and gatherings with people, you're going to benefit greatly from. Now, the sextile is to Juno and Zeus hanging out in your first house of identity. If you're a single Libra, this could actually spark some desire to connect with a long-term love, to be a partner, be partnered again. One reason, of course, is the first house is opposite the 7th house of long-term committed love and partnership. But also, you know, your very identity, Libra, is about, you know, the balancing of scales, but you guys are relational energy. You're Venusian in a fundamental way. So you might get a spark of something in the month ahead where not only does your creativity and your ambition and your drive really reflect in your, how you look, how you feel about yourself, feeling good about being you, but you may actually draw in a Zeus-like character. Now that's male or female, a strong, you know, energy of a possible new partner during the month ahead. Okay. If not for love, then you may business partner up with somebody in the month ahead. Alrighty. Yeah, I think that's about it for you guys. I'm just pondering if I see anything else, but I don't think so. Let's go to Scorpio. So Scorpio, you guys, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant are having a career activation. The moon is in your 10th house. This is your public reputation. This is your contribution as seen by the collective. This is kind of like the metaphorical, like high noon of the chart. So your spotlight is on your career. Scorpio, you're going to find that you're going to shine brighter this month ahead in your career zone of the chart. You may have some new opportunities to shine brighter that you don't currently have that may unfold before you. Maybe you'll be asked to participate in something that puts you on the stage or on the spotlight regarding your specialty or your expertise. Now, the 12th house is the sextile zone. So you've got Jupiter and you've got Zeus together in the house of karma and past lives and dreams and reverie. Now there's many ways this can play out, Scorpio. It could look like you could have some impact from somebody in your past that comes to the present again, that impacts your career in a good way. The 10th house is a house of weddings. Is there somebody from the past that could come to your life again? And there could, as a result, be a metaphorical reunion and wedding? Now the 12th house is also your dreams at night. Please pay attention to them. You may dream something that is really profound that you could activate and use in your career. Because don't forget, yes, Juno and Zeus are the, you know, ultimate Mount Olympus couple that are in your past life house right now. But it's also, and Juno's taking your time to go through there, but it's also electrical energy. It's bolts of lightning that comes through the activation of Zeus. So on this particular full moon. So what like downloads, insights, breakthroughs around career, ambition, goals, and accomplishments and creativity can you get from meditation, reverie, daydreaming, and dreaming at night that could really, Scorpio, fortify your 10th house of career this month ahead. Alrighty. Moving on from Scorpio, we're into the land of that fiery Sag. Now, Sages, you're going through a 9th house moon, the full moon in the 9th house of God, of soul, of guru, of spiritual wisdom and knowledge, of book publishing, and foreign lands, pilgrimages, and long distance travel. Are you going to pick up and get in on a plane or grab your suitcase and go on a pilgrimage? There's probably a strong temptation to do that with that 9th house activation. If you're a Sag who is invested in education, like you're a student right now, or you're going to school, or you're even teaching in an educational setting, it's going to be a really good month for you. Going to be some strong developments for you Sages in successful, bright spotlight energy around your career, or as a teacher, or as a student, some escalation of your success. Now, the sextile is to the 11th house of great gains and benefactors. So Juno and Zeus are sitting in your 11th house, and they're bringing you the possibility of, through this moon in the month ahead, increased benefits through partnerships, alliances, friendships that you you turn into partnerships, business and or love, because Juno and Zeus are also, you know, the hot couple of Mount Olympus. The Brangelina of Mount Olympus is in your 11th house. So if you're single, you might meet somebody through a friend this month. It might be like the love of your life through a friend introducing you or telling you guys you have to meet each other. You guys would really kick it off, hit it off together. If you're not looking for love per se, then it would be a great month to create new wealth and gains in your career through a business alliance, in a social setting, or through organizations or groups you belong to. You know, if clubs or, you know, any kind of, even an online group that you belong to, you can generate some really good movement there, particularly around that 9th house, things that you want to teach other people or learn. Go on a foreign land trip with a good friend and maybe meet the love of your life. There's another delineation as well. All right, moving forward. Aquarius. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Oh, Capricorn, I mean. Sorry, Caps, I almost forgot you. So you Caps are having an 8th house full moon. Well, that's a difficult place in the chart anyway, just in general. I mean, 8th house is sort of the unconscious, the secrets, the taboos of life. It's mystery, magic, and occult. It's death and rebirth. Well, it's actually the house of death in traditional astrology. So it's basically, and you know, death of the ego even. So it's basically a very deep place to have this full moon landing for you Capricorns. I'm going to really ponder this before I go ahead and talk about it. What do I really feel about that? I feel like you really want to go into the magical piece of you, because you guys are so, sea goats are mysterious and magical, you know? You sun, moon, and ascendant Capricorns have magic in you. You got your tail in the water and you've got your goat horns up here, and you're like, you're a double-bodied being. And so, you know, there's magic in that 8th house. And I don't want it to just be, oh, you know, the burden of the 8th house. Ugh. You know, where is your magic? Where's your like supernatural superpowers? Where are they? So this moon could bring some of those to light for you Capricorns, like your superpower, unusual, non-ordinary magic and miracles of you. There's also the possibility that secrets could be revealed, the spotlight of the full moon reflecting the sun in the 8th house of things that are secretive and hidden. So if a secret is divulged or revealed to you, something you didn't know comes to light during the month ahead, it's not a bad thing, because it's going to shed some energy as that sextile aspects your 10th house of career into your ambition, goals, career, and the way you escalate or your reputation is seen in the world. So it could actually be a secret revealed that restores you to greater power in your career, or a hidden truth uncovered that gives you greater power. So I like that too. And now Juno and Zeus in your 10th house of career. A couple of options here. God of Mount Olympus is in your career house, and he's been there for a while, and so is Juno, but now operating with that 8th house moon. What could you bring from the 8th house of, you know, magic and mystery and money and wealth? I should say that, and wealth. This is a house of wealth that you don't earn, like stipends and grants and inheritances and tax rebates and stuff. What wealth and hidden treasure can you bring from the 8th house, courtesy of the full moon spotlight, into your 10th house of career, where with the courtesy of Zeus, the Brangelina of Mount Olympus, of Zeus and Juno, you can bring a new business partnership into being, a new career alliance into creation, or you can be supported by some kind of existing partnership in your career that wants to support you. So yeah, so I'm just going to stay with that. But it also the possibility of some wealth being flowing into your career zone, or some greater, like a promotion or maybe, or a bonus or a grant or a stipend coming to you that supports you in your career as well in the month ahead. It's funny when you try to do these delineations, you got to get really creative about all the ways it could possibly play out. Sometimes I'm like, wow, what else could happen? You know, it gets a little dizzying at times. Aquarius. So Aquarius, guess what? This is going to happen in your 7th house, the spotlight, the moon, the full moon, boom, the house of long-term love, the house of marriage, the house of your clients if you work one-on-one with people, the house of your business partnerships and long-term friendships as well, like a friend that you've had for years and years and years, which would be a seventh house relationship. So what happens when the spotlight goes into your seventh house, Aquarius, sun, moon, and ascendant? Well, first of all, it is literally a spotlight on a romance, not a romance, but a partnership energy. So you could meet somebody this month, if you're single, that you would like to be with in the long term, a long-term partnership. You could also draw in some kind of alliance or business partnership that doesn't currently exist, or fortify one that's been dormant and bring it to greater power. Spotlight is on other, not you. So a lot of this month ahead is the more you put your attention on other, your clients, the people you work with, like, you know, if you're like a servant of others, like a therapist or something. Uh-oh, my dashboard speaker just changed its settings. Okay, I hope I still have sound. That was unnerving. Okay, rather than trust that I have sound, I'm going to take my headphones out and see where is the mic operating from. I don't know. So just, I hope that the mic was working all along. That's going to suck if it wasn't. Okay, so where was I? Aquarius, you're definitely looking at the seventh house activation. So look for love and long-term partnership in business, serving other, putting the spotlight on other people in your life. Clients as well can really serve you to have great success. The sextile of Juno is coming courtesy of the ninth house. That's Juno and Zeus in the ninth house. Wow, that's powerful. And so, you know, the ninth house of God, the ninth house of higher education, book publishing. Are some of you Aquarians thinking of publishing a book, or getting a book written, or getting a book developed? That would be a really good time. I am, and I'm Aquarius rising, for you guys to focus on that book development. The ninth house is higher education. If you're going to school as an Aquarius, or you're a teacher or professor, it's a good spotlight for teaming up with partnerships. Now, you know, Juno is all about long-term alliances, and she can end them as well as she can begin them. So beginning and endings of long-term alliances in ninth house settings are important. Like if you're a student, you may change advisors, or you may develop a really strong relationship with a new advisor or a new teacher, or a new professor, and have a real sense of partnership with that person in your life. Zeus's creative energy is focused up there, the lightning bolts of creativity, ambition, drive, and goals that Zeus as a trans-Neptunian is about. And so you can really kick ass there in that ninth house of publishing and higher education. Now also long-term, or like foreign lands and travel, pilgrimage style, you know, going away to another foreign country. Is highlighted with Zeus and Hera there, partnerships that are international, groups that are international, being partnered in an international way is important too. So like, say you have something you want to, like a book, and now you can get the international, you know, rights to it, or like more like maybe you already have a book, and now, you know, a publisher in England wants to buy the rights to your book. Okay, Aquarius, so that would be very much like what that could outplay as, or outpicture as. So we'll just stay with that as a theme. I'm having like anxiety that my mic wasn't working. I hope it was. Okay, I can see it's working now. So then we have the last bit of it, not last, but always not least, Pisces. This is in your natal sixth house, and the moon shining a light on your health, a spotlight on your physical protocols for better well-being, sun, moon, and ascendant in Pisces. Also exercise, food that you're going to eat, and you kick off a new health regime. It's funny because I have my moon in Pisces. So as I look at that, oh, sorry, that's sidereal. I always do that. I don't have any Pisces in tropical. But for those of you who are tropical, sun, moon, and ascendant, you're going to feel like your health is on the spotlight for you. And so protocols for better health come to the forefront. It's also the house of right livelihood and work, and your workplace setting. If you work somewhere and you go to an office in the day, this is going to highlight that place in your chart as well. Now, the sextile that's operating during that moon to Juno and Zeus is happening in your natal eighth house of wealth, secrets, magic, mystery, death, and rebirth. So something could come out of the eighth house that brings you money by virtue of relating in a contractual or other partnership way. You could gain some money, Pisces, in the month ahead. It doesn't mean that because the moon is in your sixth house of right livelihood that necessarily the money comes from your work.
but the money would support your right livelihood. So any gains, like selling a property, selling something, making a windfall in a stock, anything like a chunk of money that doesn't really belong to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, you didn't earn it. You didn't get it by your, daily grind. If that happens, that would be a supporting energy to your house of right livelihood. Maybe it's what you need is a infusion of cash so you can leave your Starbucks job and work full time on your true passion. Your health protocols are also benefiting by partnerships that are 8th house energy. That would be seeing a shaman, a healer, a psychic, a witch, any of those like super woo energies that really could support you in your betterment of your true calling, your livelihood, and your job and your health in the month ahead. Alrighty. I'm finished. It's nighttime here. I'm ready for dinner and a glass of wine. I would love you guys to come visit my website, Lunatic Astrology. Check the link below to that. I don't have a sale on, but I have some really good prices on what I'm up to. I have year ahead forecast. I have the birthday reading. I don't have a lot of stuff there. My signature reading, Discover the Magic You're Born For, is really popular. And then I would also encourage you to check out my sister Cindy's website, Blind Faith Readings. I always like to include her. She's a tarot reader, Lenormand. She is physically, literally blind, but she's amazing. She's very psychic and she's really good. So I support her as well. Check out her website below. Lastly, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share the content if you like it. I'm a relatively new channel in terms of doing the astrology here, and I really do appreciate your support. And if you comment, I will listen to you, read your comments, like, heart, and also just literally respond if I think there's something I want to say back. Thanks, guys. Mwah.